everybody, welcome to Jacob's Quest, and today we got a brand new trailer for The Flash, which was the long in development movie. It's gone through so many directors and writers, and then the whole Ezra Miller situation happened, and now, you know, the overall company has changed hands, and James Gunn is doing his thing now. So I don't even know what this movie's supposed to be at this point, if this is the actual reset point of the entire DC universe, or if any of this matters at all. I don't know, but there's finally a trailer. The movie actually exists, so let's go ahead and check it out.
Tell me something. You can go anywhere. Another timeline. Another universe.
Okay. Oh, look at him.
Why do you want to stay and fight to save this one?
Because this is the world where my mom lives. I'm not gonna lose her again.
Okay, we're doing that Flashpoint thing, yep.
Time has a pattern that it can't help reliving. Different people, different worlds, drawn to each other like magnets.
Okay, so
My face. You stole my face.
why are there two? That's weird.
If you were to go into the past, you have no idea what the consequences can be.
Bruce, I could fix things.
You could also destroy everything.
Hey, look, Ben
Can't be
Affleck.
happening.
Okay, so Man of
Completely
Steel
broke the universe.
happens differently?
Zod.
We've been waiting for you.
What?
I created a world with no metahumans. And now there's no one to defend us.
Want some help?
I didn't even think Zod was going to be part of this. What is happening?
Oh. You are.
Yeah. I'm Batman.
The cow still can't move his head. But hey, that's really cool. We've never seen Keaton Batman do that. Okay.
If I can't undo what I did. If I can't get back. There might not be a future. What's the play? Batman, what do we do?
We try not to die.
Okay.
It's not Clark.
My name is Kara.
I'm Barry. We're Barry. Barry, what are you doing? Our kids are gonna want to see this.
Okay, June 16th. Okay, oh, Rebirth All Began. That's, hey, you know what? That's cool that they added this on there, the comics. That's pretty cool. I will say I do wish Marvel would, you know, advertise their actual comic books more to, like, show, hey, this is kind of where it was inspired by. So I do appreciate this right here at the end. That's really cool. Wow, that was a lot. And like I said, it's so much has happened with this movie and its development where it's difficult to say, you know, the original plan versus what the plan is now versus what the plan was 3 or 4 years ago. You know what I mean? So like, how much is this gonna matter? I don't, let's go through this again, because we see quite a bit, and I believe if we back it up a little bit, I believe I'm gonna go frame by frame. Okay, so this is Batfleck. That is Ben Affleck's Batman. I will say for sure I did not anticipate Zod and Man of Steel having anything to do with this. And look, I know exactly what's going to happen now that this trailer's out there. You have your Snyder fans online. And I'm not talking about people who just like the movie. I'm talking about like the people who, You know, they start those fan petitions, and they dedicate their entire Twitter profile and everything. Their whole online presence is all about Zack Snyder. You know, I'm talking about those people. This is definitely gonna do something to that community, because, you know, they're gonna see Ben Affleck, they're gonna see Zod and Man of Steel footage, and they're gonna see all this stuff, and they're gonna be like, oh my god, this, and there's like a weird like sell it all to Netflix movement happening now, which I know that's ridiculous. It's never gonna happen. But it's interesting. I don't know, you know, again, it's hard to say how significant any of this is, because it's like, you know, the plan is so backwards now. Okay, so let's see what we can actually see out of this. Move the mouse. Okay, so yeah, they're doing the Flashpoint where his mom lives, and that's why he wants to fix this timeline. And spoiler alert for Flashpoint, by the way, the comic book. He ends up realizing he was wrong, and he decides that it's, you know, for the good of the timeline and the world, that he return things the way they were and allow his mom to die. So, you know, I mean, you know, they don't return, you get the New 52 and stuff, so things don't exactly go back the way they were supposed to. Now this is the part that is the most surprising out of all of this, because this is not something that happens in Flashpoint. In Flashpoint, when he goes back and he's now in this new timeline where he's saved his mom from dying, right? He is just the Barry Allen of that universe, but the movie seems to be making so that there's two Barry Allens, or maybe one of them is actually the Reverse Flash and they're lying, which, if one of them is the Reverse Flash and yet they somehow have Barry Allen's face, so I'm wondering if this line here where he's like, oh, you have my face, I'm wondering if that's going to be somehow more literal, of like, oh no, you're Eobard Thawne, right? Eobard Thawne, yeah. And you did something to where you now have my face for some reason. You know, that's kind of the more confusing element of this, was because Reverse Flash, he's not Barry Allen, he's an entirely different person. So why do we got two identical guys here? I don't exactly know what's supposed to be happening. But this one's like not even saying anything. So I don't know, we got a short-haired one and a long-haired one, and I don't know which one. And there's other things too, like what's happening in this scene here. We have the lightning bolt going through one guy into Barry, but who is this other guy? Is this the other Barry Allen, or is this... I don't understand what's happening here. The ring is pretty cool, and of course, again, like seeing, you know, Ben Affleck. The other thing, of course, you know, again, I know I keep bringing up the production of this movie. How long ago was this filmed? Because it's, you know, this scene right here with Ben Affleck, this might have been filmed, you know, back in 2018 or something. You know, like this movie's been in production for a long time, guys. So, yeah. And then, of course, we get our, you know, Zod's announcement to the world, and we get the what do you call them? Those things. And I'm curious also, how much of this Man of Steel footage is going to be new footage? You know what I mean? Like, did they actually get, what's his name, to come back and be Zod and shoot some new scenes? Is this a new scene, or is this actually just from Man of Steel and they kind of edited it a little bit, you know? So I'm curious how they're going to manage that. He talks about a world without metahumans, which I guess is the Tim Burton Batman universe. So yeah, he's still wearing the cowl where he cannot move his neck, which is, it's funny, but it is like, would he look like the same Batman if he could move his neck? Probably not. So you know, it's not very functional, but it's kind of part of it. Now this, obviously, we've never seen Michael Keaton's Tim Burton Batman could not have ever done that, so that's funny. Now the interesting thing here is, you know, again, this is Batfleck, but that bike almost, it's not the Christopher Nolan you know, Bat bike, but it almost looked like it. So what's happening here with the, you know, Ben Affleck Batman scene? Because I have to assume this is earlier in the movie, before he does his, you know, time traveling stuff, and we get a different Batman. So I'm curious what's happening here, because this is, guys, you have to understand, this is quite possibly the very end of anything to do with the Zack Snyder universe. You know, it's possible that at the end of this movie, Zack Snyder's universe and all of his version of things are, it's just like officially gone, like it's over, right? So obviously, like I said, that community out there, the Snyder bros, as people call them, right? Like, that might be it, you know? Like, so they're gonna be angry. But anyways, let's see who's, you know, again, I gotta keep going back and forth. So it looks like Supergirl's carrying a Barry Allen. Okay, something's collapsing. Batman. All right, now this is interesting. So we have, okay, yeah, so we have it looks like the older Flash costume is on the left, the one that was more metal looking, and then his brand new costume is the one on the right. So okay, so we got the two Barry Allens, and they seem to be using the two different costumes. Or actually, no, you know what? I think the one on the left is using a Batman suit. I think that's what's actually happening here. And then, yeah, see, interesting stuff here. I guess they must have shot some new Man of Steel footage, because we got Supergirl fighting, you know, Zod and his soldiers now. Flash actually doing his classic Flash thing and creating little vortexes. That's what he does. So yeah, a lot of cool stuff's happening. So here's another interesting thing. So this is, again, Batfleck, Ben Affleck's Batman, and he's got an entirely new armor on. This is really interesting. So this is not anything we've seen from him before. This is all new. I will say the cape and cowl look a lot more blue, and the bodysuit looks more gray. So they're actually getting pretty close to that gray and blue, you know, color scheme that a lot of people have wanted. So, you know, again, I don't know what's happening here with, you know, I'm assuming this is the beginning of the movie with the Ben Affleck, but that's pretty cool. And then, you know, look, we're revisiting the whole Zod situation, which I did not see coming, because in Flashpoint they have it to where the Atlanteans and the Amazonians are at war with each other, but it looks like they're replacing that with Zod coming back. And because in this world there's no Clark Kent for whatever reason, without a Clark Kent, it looks like the Zod situation gets, you know, obviously handled much differently. So very interesting. And now of course we got Supergirl, so they're gonna have to explain exactly where she came from, how she would have fit into this version of the Zod invasion. Actually, what does it say on her? Kamar? I can't. What does that say on her shirt there? CAMA, and it looks like a backwards R. Oh wait, Ramak? I don't know what that's supposed to say, guys. I don't know, maybe it's a different language, I don't know. Anyways, they're obviously there in Wayne, in Bruce Wayne's house, and in the background of the news you can see Zod's ship in the background. So lots of crazy stuff is happening here. Wow. And then yes, this is cool, like get the, you know what, and hey, it's still inspired by the Henry Cavill Superman suit. She probably got it from the same ship, even, you know, in this version of the timeline, right? So that's actually pretty funny. And then you have your two Barrys, and actually, yeah, so you can see like they're both wearing, I think this one here is wearing a bat suit. As you can see, his looks more like red spray painted onto a bat suit. I think that's what's happening here. You can see the logo at the bottom just barely. So yeah, you know what? Look, this movie's gotten a lot of praise, like behind the scenes. It's got a lot of praise of being like this amazing movie, and that's one of the reasons they didn't want to just trash it and just throw it away, because it's like, despite all the Ezra Miller unpleasantness that happened, you know, and obviously all the other complicated things happening with DC, this movie is supposed to be really, really good. That's the that's the only thing. It's like, maybe if it was a trash movie like the Batgirl supposedly was, maybe they would have thrown this away too. But if you look how much stuff they put into this, how much money, and possibly getting a bunch of actors back and shooting all this stuff, like, it seems like it was a lot of work and a lot of money. And look, hey, I can't lie, I'm interested to see what this is, because I did not expect them to do the Zod. I didn't expect to see as much Ben Affleck's Batman as we're seeing here. I knew he was in the movie, but I thought it was gonna be like a little cameo. And there's been more recent rumors which are even more outlandish, so I don't think those rumors are true. But anyways, yeah, I don't know how this movie's gonna end. I don't know how this is gonna connect to what James Gunn is doing now. And I will say this, if this is the final send-off for all the Snyderverse stuff, because we're finally going back to see Zod and the Man of Steel and how that whole era of DC began, and we're seeing like this other timeline version of it, you know what? Okay, give it this send-off. Let this be like, hey, remember that? Let's kind of go down memory lane a little bit. Remember Zod? Okay, let's do that, and then we can finally move on. We can finally just like, all right, James Gunn, show me what you got. We can move on from this last era, which I know some people were big fans of, and I was kind of iffy on. I think Man of Steel was okay. So even for me, like, seeing the Zod stuff, I'm like, okay, yeah, I enjoyed at least most of that movie. Maybe not the whole movie, but I enjoyed most of it. So yeah, the Zod stuff is kind of working for me. But yeah, let me know what you guys think, what your theories are on how this all connects to whatever's coming next. And hopefully this movie ends up being a pretty the end result ends up being worth all the trouble they went through for this movie, because the behind the scenes, like someone's gonna write a tell-all book about, like, okay, here's how many directors and how many writers, and then late into production, when filming had already wrapped, here's all the Ezra Miller stuff and how that impacted everything happening at Warner Brothers. Like, someone's gonna write that book one day, and it's gonna be an amazing book. Anyways, let me know what you guys think about this, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.